Hi everyone, I am sorry I am a little late. I was trying to go live from my laptop, which would free up my hands, at least one of them. Um, but I was having some issues trying to get on to the live through the laptop. So I'm just here on my trusty phone. This just means that if I see comments or if comments pop in, I may not even be able to see them, which was one of the issues I was having yesterday. I wasn't sure if I could if comments were being written because I didn't see them, but if it's saying comments will appear here, so I'm going to trust that this technology works and it's as successful as it was yesterday. So I am going to see if I can possibly lean the phone, because I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday before I explain what we're going to be doing today. And I think that's going to work right there. All right, so yesterday we did a little project, and I wanted to share my finished one with you. I also posted it in a comments below the video that was run yesterday. So if you were here yesterday and you did this particular one, go ahead and go back to that video. It just says day 1 art break, and just take a picture of yours and share that with the rest of us if you don't mind. And today we're going to do another little bit of an art break. Let me see if I can bring this closer. I wanted to go live on the laptop because notifications keep popping in on my phone and they're kind of distracting. Alright, so today we're going to do like a mini therapy session, I guess you could call it. Kind of I'm calling it recycle and receive. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Alright, I mentioned that I wanted you to bring your favorite perfume or essential oil blend if you had one, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. I actually brought 2 with me. This one is called Activation, and it's actually a particular blend that I found in the Bible, and the base of it came directly from the Bible, and I was guided to add a few other essential oils into that as well. If you guys can hear me, I see that there are 2 people watching. Can you just put a comment saying I can hear you? I just want to make sure, because I wasn't sure about yesterday. I have the volume turned down so that none of the notifications disturb me. But if you can't hear me, just simply say I can't hear you, and then I think I may have to just stop and restart, because I'm not sure how to. This is why I wanted to go live from the laptop, because I could easily just turn the phone off. So I'm going to trust that you all can hear me, and I'm going to keep going. Alright, so this one, like I said, is Activation, and I made that based on a blend that I found in the Bible. The other one is, I actually call this one Get Your Together. You can fill in the blank. I want this to be family friendly, so that's what this is called. And this one actually has essential oils of lemon and lavender, peppermint, and a few others. It kind of helps me to get started in the day. One of those really uplifting blends. So lemon is really, really good. Okay, thanks Tammy. I am so glad, because I wasn't sure about yesterday, because when I uploaded that one I couldn't hear it at all. Recording for 20 minutes and I was going to have to redo it. So okay, I'm sorry, my internet just kind of kicked on and off there for a second. So the first one I showed you, called Activation, actually serves several different purposes. For me, it's like a spiritual blend, but it also has different oils that are antiseptic, antiviral. So trust me, whenever I leave this place, I am literally like, let me just go ahead and put some on and show you. I rub it all over my hands. So it's kind of like the herbal version of Germex. So I just rub it all over my hands, and then I take a deep inhale, and it literally kind of opens up my chest. So that's another reason why I like to use these blends. So the reason why I asked you to bring your own perfume or your favorite perfume is I want you to take, before we start, I want you to go ahead and open it, and I want you to take 3 deep inhales. And you're going to feel your chest kind of open. And that is something that I do just to kind of get started. Another thing that you can also do, if you don't, I learned this from one of my teachers named Dr. Athena Parakas. And what she does is she takes a perfume, and you just kind of anoint yourself at your third eye for what you know, at your wrist for what you do, and at your ankles or on your feet for where you go. So you're basically just saying a prayer and getting in complete alignment, ready to face the day. So that was what I wanted to share with you as far as the perfume was concerned. I work with a lot of different modalities in healing my body. I don't just do the herbs and the essential oils. I do a lot of different things, including the art, which is what we've been doing for the since yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump right into today's. And like I said, today we're going to talk about recycling and receiving. And the first thing I want you to do, you should have a piece of paper and a pencil. And the first thing I want you to do, on one side, I want you to trace your hand. And on the other side, you to draw something that looks like a recycling bin. It's not going to be a trash can. It's going to be a recycling bin for purposes of today. So here we have your hand, and on the other side you see at the top I said recycle, something that looks like a recycling bin. You don't have to write it in here because we're going to work with that space in a moment. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and trace your hand and draw what looks like a recycling bin. And if you need to take a couple more deep inhales of your perfume, go ahead and do that. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gina, and I am an art therapy life coach. I'm also an integrative healing arts life coach. That basically means just a few big words for saying that I use a lot of different modalities to heal with. Art is one, using essential oils is another, massage is another, herbs, I use a lot of different herbs. I also mentioned, some of you might have brought your favorite tea. I have I call it my herbal coffee. There's no coffee in here. It literally has chicory root, dandelion root, which is the herbal coffee version, and then there's reishi mushroom in here, and then there's turmeric, ginger, licorice root, ashwagandha, which are all adaptogenic herbs as well as anti-inflammatory herbs. So all of that is in here with some coconut milk and sweetener, because the turmeric can be a little strong. So that is what I am drinking today. So when I say I'm an integrative healing arts life coach, it basically means I work with a lot of different modalities. But for today, because it's an art break, we're going to be doing art. All right. So, and again, if your picture, if you don't want to feel vulnerable, that's fine. But if you're comfortable being vulnerable and you want to share with us what you did yesterday, find yesterday's video and then go ahead and post your picture. Right, so I did make some notes again, just to remind myself of what I wanted to say. Children, if you do have children with you, they can do this. for some parts of it, you might have to help them along or tell you how they're feeling, and then you can fill in the appropriate sections. So children can do this. And again, you're going to be able to revisit this video once the live is finished, because it's going to be saved and will be here available for you to watch again and again if you want to, or if you missed a part and you came in a little late, that's fine, because you're not going to be late. You're going to be able to do this on your own time, or whenever you feel that it's necessary for you to do. Just whenever you feel you need a little bit of a lift. Just to make sure. Now, I did say that you only needed a piece of paper and a pencil, but you are allowed to use a lot of other materials if you do have them. Sometimes it's hard to see comments, but I did see the one by Tammy, so that is fine. I'm good there. All right. And again, at the end of this, I do want you to post an image of your completed assignment at the bottom if you do feel comfortable with that. All right. So today's theme is recycle and receive. And at the end of this, I'm going to do a little bit of a meditation, a heart space meditation with you once we go through the whole process. And I'm also going to be playing my singing bowl for you as we do that as well. I've never played the singing bowl for anyone. Kind of in a nervous spot there, but I will share that with you as well. All right, so let's begin. First thing, you should have your hand drawn at this point, and you should have something that looks sort of like this. I have mine outlined so you could see it properly, and you can do the same with a marker. So there's my hand, and there is the recycling bin. Now what I want you to think about is, we're going to go really deep here, and we're going to start thinking about different emotions that might be coming up for us right now during this really uncertain period with the coronavirus roaming around, and you may have other issues with. So what kind of emotions are coming up for you? What I want you to do is, on the side where it says recycle, and I'm going to do this with you as well, which is why mine is still blank. What I want you to think about are, what do you need, what kind of emotions do you need to recycle? I noticed I didn't ask you to draw a trash can, because we're not just simply going to get rid of these emotions. We need to process them and turn them into something else, into something that is going to be more beneficial to us. So if anger is one of those that you need to recycle, how can you process anger, and what can it become? Do you understand what I'm saying? So on the side where it says recycle, that's where we're going to start. And we're going to start thinking about different emotions that we need to recycle. So maybe we need to recycle grief. And I mentioned grief first because that's a huge one for me. This year started out on death, pretty much. I lost my baby sister in January. About a week later, a cousin of mine, her only daughter, passed away from cancer as well. Lost my sister to cancer. And about a week and a half later, my two older kids, their granddad died, my ex-husband's father. And about 2 weeks after that, one of my best friends, when the day that I got the news, it was so shocking. I really thought it was just somebody's idea of a sick joke. Found out that one of my best friends passed away unexpectedly. So it was that one thing after another, and it was like I couldn't get myself out of this space of grief. I was mourning my sister, then it was my cousin's daughter, and it just seemed to continue. So if you're going through something like that, maybe grief is what needs to be recycled for you. How do we release that, process it, and what can we turn it into? And we'll talk about that in a minute, what we're going to turn it into. Maybe fear is something that you need to kind of put into the recycling, because there's a lot of fear going around right now, so we really don't need to add to it. And I'm going to in a little while about fear. Maybe you're dealing with fear of death, with all of the death that has occurred because of this particular virus. Maybe you're trying to come to terms with your own mortality. Maybe that's something that so many of us are thinking about. Um, so maybe that's something you would need to put into the recycling, turn it around for a bit. Remember, think of when we recycle things, we don't literally throw them out. They go into a bin, they go somewhere else, they get processed, and then something even more beautiful potentially can come out of it. So that's where I want you to be thinking is we're going to be processing these emotions, and then what can be received as a result of processing these particular emotions. Maybe procrastination is what you need to recycle. I know for me, if I don't have a schedule, I have a calendar, and if I don't have my things planned out, I can find everything else to work on other than what I'm supposed to be working. Procrastination for me is one of those things, and like I said, I'm also going to be working on that. So in the meantime, while I'm sharing these with you, in that section where it says where you have your recycling bin drawn, go ahead and write those things into the recycling bin. And it doesn't have to be pretty. You can overlap your words. We just want to have everything into that recycling bin, and then we're going to move on, and I'll tell you what we're going to do with them afterwards. Maybe anxiety is what you're dealing with, because there certainly is a lot of anxiety being raised as a result of what's happening in the world today. Maybe uncertainty, again, because of what's happening. Maybe nervousness, because I can tell you honestly, when I decided to do these live videos, and I started yesterday, you couldn't tell probably yesterday, because I was really nervous yesterday, and I still am right now, because even though as a teacher I'm used to standing in front of children and some adults, I still get nervous speaking to crowds, and even though I can't see, I know that there are people who are watching. So being nervous, that is something that I always have to work on a daily basis. That in addition to procrastination. Maybe you're working on society's opinion of what beauty is supposed to look like. If you notice, I'm pretty much bald, and this was a decision I made. It's almost 3 years now, to shave off all my hair, and I still get a lot of looks because, a woman doesn't willingly shave off all of her locks, does she? Because there is so much that people attach to having hair, and if I right now, this is a lot of hair on my head. Usually it would be gone. My head maybe twice a week, because I've gotten to the point where I'm just so used to having a bald head. And the thing is, with having a bald head, you cannot be shy, because all you are is face at this point. So maybe you're not as thin as maybe you don't have the certain look that society thinks you're supposed to have. So maybe that's something that we have to process today and put into the recycling bin, and in the stead, right? So society's opinion of beauty. What about resentment? Maybe that's something that you're working on. Notes here. Maybe there are a few words from a bully 5 years ago that you're still working on, and for this, maybe the children, maybe the parents can talk to the children and see if that is something that they would want to process. And this is not something that's going to be healed today. I'm just giving you a tool that you can work with. I am not a psychotherapist. I am not a psychologist. So if you do need additional help, please go ahead and find a medical practitioner who can help to work with you further throughout this. But this is just a tool you can use, okay? What about maybe you're dealing with pain? I know this is the lupus page and that I'm on, and I know pain is huge for all of us, because if you have a flare up, your joints get inflamed and they hurt, and there's something you can't get out of bed. So maybe pain is something that we need to kind of release into the recycling bin, and let's see what we want out of that. And I'm going to give you some tips, not at this video because I don't want it to be too long, but maybe that is a separate video that I can do for you to help you to alleviate a little bit of your pain using different modalities. What about maybe frustration you're dealing with? Maybe eat. That's a huge one. What about anger? How can we process anger, and what can we turn anger into? What can it become? What about doubt? I know a lot of us right now are doubting just how are we going to get through this uncertain time, right? But it'll be okay. Everything will be okay. Maybe you're dealing with impulsivity. Is that a word? Or did I just make one up? But maybe you're prone to being impulsive. And sometimes the fact that you're impulsive gets you into a lot of trouble. So maybe that is something that we need to, that you need to work on. So whatever concerns that you may have that you've written into your recycling bin, remember I said it doesn't have to be pretty. Just write them in, scribble them in. They can overlap. Just fill up that. Now, and remember you can do this afterwards as well. It doesn't have to be completed here. I'm just giving you a tool and walking you through the process. So the next part that we're going to work on is on the receiving side. And like I said, I'm going to be filling mine in at the end here. I'm just walking you through the process. So the next part we're going to be doing is on the receiving side. So you should have your hand drawn, right? And the reason why I asked you to draw a hand is because your hands are usually what you receive with, right? It's kind of hard. Maybe if somebody was feeding you, you receive with the food with your mouth. But when you go to give a hug, it's usually the hands, the arms that are done. When you do a handshake, it's the hands. So your hands are a powerful tool. And when you go to receive, usually it's with your hands. Now, if your hands are full of all of these things that we just put into the recycling bin, there's no space for you to receive, which is what we're going to talk about now. So what we had to do was to empty our hands of all of those things that we just discussed, all of the grief, the fear, the anger, the uncertainty, the doubt, the guilt. Release all of those. Now your hands are empty, and you're going to be able to receive what you truly want after we've recycled all of those emotions that we were just talking about. So, what do you want to receive? Let's think about that. And those are the things that you are going to now write in to your hand, wherever you want to. You're going to fill up all the fingers, fill up all the palms with words that are the things that you want to receive. So if you released anger, hatred, all of those things, what do you want to receive? Maybe you want to receive peace. If you released called guilt, maybe you want to receive forgiveness. What about compassion? Maybe you want to receive compassion. Maybe you're finding it hard to even release some of these negative emotions that you know are not serving you anymore. So maybe you just want to receive the ability to be able to, and would recommend is that you find a practitioner even more to go a little bit deeper with you and be able to work with you through that whole process. So maybe that's what you need in its place. What about self-love? Maybe after hearing from, from a particular bully that you're ugly, that you're this, that you're that you don't live up to what society thinks you're supposed to look like, that you don't have the body type that society tells you that you're supposed to have, that you don't look like those girls in the magazine, and maybe self-love is what you want to receive in its place. What about clarity? In this whole uncertain time period, maybe clarity is what you need. What we all need is just clarity on everything. Clarity on what do we need to do to ensure that the bills are being paid, that the light is going to be working so that our food doesn't go bad. Clarity on what do we need to do just in, if we were to get sick, where do we go to, things to take, what not to take, that sort of thing. So maybe we just need clarity. For some of us, maybe you released loneliness, and in its place you just want some connection. That is a huge thing in this time period when we're all being encouraged to not hug one another, not touch one another, stay at least 6 feet away, don't go into crowds that are more than 50. And these are all recommendations, but what is it creating? This term called social distancing. So one of my main reasons for doing this is to put the social back into social distancing. So maybe what we all need is just love, right? Maybe we're all looking for that. It's where people hate us for one reason or another. Maybe we hate ourselves for one reason or another. And all we really need is love. So in this section where your hand is drawn, all of that I want you to fill in, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the things, kind of throwing things out there. So maybe you want to fill in that you want to receive. Just fill this hand up. So whatever you have over here in the recycling bin, go ahead and recycle it, process it, and what do you want to receive in its place? Put that into. And once you're finished with that, I want you to, at the end of it, you don't right now, but at the end of it, you can go ahead and take a picture, or you can, just like I did, feel free to add doodles, add coloring onto there, and take a picture and upload it, or the whole coloring process part of it can just be another part of the process. You do not have to share it. I'm just encouraging you to share so that kind of it helps to make connection, and it also opens communication, so we can all kind of give our feedback and maybe share with each other what we're going through and be able to help each other. I also have a group, and I'm going to post that, so maybe if you're not a member of the group, you can go ahead and connect and join that group, and you may feel a lot more comfortable just sharing within the group itself. Okay, so if you're not finished with the little project, you do not have to finish right now. Go ahead and continue to work on it. Like I said, I just want to show you the process, and then I'm going to allow you to finish, and you can post it afterwards. And you can always come back and rewatch the video, because it will be here on the page afterwards as well. What I want to do now that we've gone through and you've kind of processed some of the emotions that you might be feeling, you've released some into the recycling bin, and you've taken out what you want to be feeling, I want to go through a little bit, just a very short meditation with you. And the meditation, or the little affirmation that I want you to say, is simple. It's very short, and you can always come back and listen to it again. It is, I am safe, I am healthy, I am loved. So what I want you to do is take your right hand, just place over your heart area, and just take deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. And again, just repeat, I am safe, I am healthy, I am loved. I am healthy, I am loved. I am safe, I am healthy, I am loved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play my sound bowl for you just for a few seconds. And while I'm playing, you can repeat that affirmation to yourself again. I am safe, I am healthy, I am loved. And what I can also do is I can make a little bit of a recording and post that video in here. So if you can always come back and look for that video and just sound as well in healing my body. I use tuning forks. I also work with my sound bowl. I listen to music. So there, like I said, there are a lot of different modalities that I work with in healing my body from lupus and other autoimmune issues that I was diagnosed with many years ago. So this is my sound bowl. And feel free to close your eyes and just relax your shoulders. And like I said, you can always come back and you can watch a video, and I can make a longer video of the tuning bowl that you can always come back and listen to as well. As I'm playing, you can literally feel the vibration going throughout your body, because remember, everything has a certain vibration to it. Everything is energy. And when I'm playing the bowl, I can visualize all of my cells healthy, exactly where they're supposed to be. So if you liked the sound bowl and you'd like for me to do a longer video of that, I will certainly go ahead and do so for you. And I will post that, and I will also link it below this video. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to give you a chance to finish up if you haven't finished, and just feel free to post it, a picture of it in the comments below this video. I appreciate you being here with me and taking this short break. I think today was a little bit longer than what it was yesterday, but like I said, the video will always be here for you to come back and watch if you didn't have the full time today to dedicate to it. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again tomorrow at the same time at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Tomorrow we'll need a little bit more material, so I'm going to tell you what I would like for you to get. If you have old magazines, collect a few old magazines and come up with your favorite quote, because tomorrow I'm going to show you how to make a simple art project using a favorite quote. All right, thank you again for being here, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Same time, 1 p.m. here on my Lupus page.